Sarah was a fugitive, not from the law, but from a life that had broken her, leaving her with nothing but her 6-year-old son Leo and a fragile hope. The cabin in the Appalachians was her sanctuary, bought with her last savings, a rustic, isolated place where the silence was so thick it felt like it had weight. The surrounding mountains were ancient. Keepers of secrets whispered on the wind through the pines, watching the newcomers with a timeless indifference. Leo, a boy with a vivid imagination, loved the place immediately, seeing dragons in the clouds and fortresses in the old-growth trees that ringed their small clearing. Their only neighbor was a woman in town miles away, who sold them supplies with a pitying look and a cryptic warning, "Be careful of the echoes in the woods." Sarah smiled, assuming it was just local folklore, but she noticed the old woman wasn't smiling back, her face as serious as a tombstone. The first few nights were peaceful, filled with the sounds of the forest, a language Sarah didn't understand, but one full of snaps and whispers just beyond the porch light. Leo began talking about a friend he'd made, a funny man who hides in the trees and who could mimic the sound of the birds perfectly. Sarah assumed it was an imaginary friend, a comfort for the boy's loneliness, and paid it no real mind, a mistake that would haunt her forever. One afternoon, while tidying Leo's room, she heard a woodpecker tapping on a tree outside, a rapid, familiar rhythm, but something was wrong. The sound was too perfect, almost mechanical, and when she looked out the window, she saw no bird, only the silent sway of the leaves. That night, after tucking Leo in, she sang him their special lullaby, a melody her own mother sang to her, a shared secret between just the two of them. As she washed the dishes, a cold chill ran down her spine. She heard the same lullaby being whistled softly, coming from the darkness just outside the kitchen window. The whistling was slightly off-key, hesitant, as if someone was trying to remember the tune, learning, practicing. Sarah's heart hammered. She killed the lights, peering out the window, but saw only her own terrified reflection, staring back over the impenetrable blackness of the forest. She ran to Leo's room and found him fast asleep, his chest rising and falling rhythmically, an angel unaware of the terror that was closing in. She convinced herself it was the wind, her mind playing tricks, exhausted from the move, and the stress, a desperate lie she needed to believe so she wouldn't go mad. The next day, one of Leo's favorite toy cars, one she was certain had been inside, appeared at the edge of the woods, 100 feet from the cabin. It was placed perfectly on a flat rock, like a lure, a silent invitation for Leo to come and get it, to take a few steps deeper into the shadows. Sarah snatched the toy, her body trembling with both rage and fear, and screamed at the silent forest, "Stay away from my son," her words swallowed by the quiet. The forest didn't answer, it only watched, and for the first time, Sarah didn't feel the beauty of nature, but the presence of an ancient, patient predator. She decided they would leave in the morning, that this sanctuary was a trap, but she just had to survive one more night. That night, the routine was the same. A warm bath for Leo, a story about brave knights, and then she tucked him into his bed, kissing his forehead. She watched him for a moment, the boy snuggling under the covers, his eyes slowly closing as he drifted off, safe in his room. Sarah closed his bedroom door softly, leaving it just slightly ajar, and went to the living room, sitting in the dark, listening. The house was still, the only sound her own ragged breathing, and the slow, heavy tick of an old clock on the wall. Then she heard it, coming from outside, from the direction of the dark woods, a sound that turned her blood to ice. It was Leo's laugh, unmistakable, that joyful, high-pitched giggle she knew better than her own heartbeat, echoing from between the trees. It wasn't distant. It was close, just beyond the tree line, as if Leo was out there, playing in the dark, waiting for her to join the game. For a second, logic shattered. She thought he might have gotten out, but she knew with a terrifying certainty that the front door was locked. She rose, moving as if in a nightmare, and eased open Leo's bedroom door, her heart hammering against her ribs. He was there, in his bed, exactly as she had left him, sound asleep, his face serene, completely still. The laughter outside stopped abruptly and was replaced by Leo's voice, a clear, desperate whisper that cut through the night. "Mommy." The thing in the woods wasn't just mimicking sounds. It was using her love as a weapon. It was using her son's voice as bait. "Mommy, I'm scared. Come get me." The voice whimpered from the darkness, sounding so perfectly like her son that tears of terror sprang to Sarah's eyes. She knew if she opened that door, they were both lost, that the thing outside was an intelligent, patient trap, an evil that existed long before her cabin. She backed slowly out of Leo's room, closing the door, and ran to the front door, shoving a heavy sofa against it, her mind screaming. "Mommy, why won't you help me?" Leo's voice called again, this time right next to the living room window, making her jump back with a choked scream. Sarah grabbed the largest knife from the kitchen, sat on the floor, her back against her son's bedroom door, making herself a silent guardian. She spent the rest of the night listening to her son's voice calling for her, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, a psychological torment that nearly broke her. With the first rays of dawn, the voice stopped, and a deep, unnatural silence fell over the forest. Sarah did not wait to see what would happen next. She grabbed a sleepy Leo from his bed, not bothering with clothes or toys or anything. She put him in the car, locked the doors, and sped down the dirt road, not daring to look in the rearview mirror. She never knew what was in those woods, but she knew it was old and smart and hungry, and that it had almost claimed everything she had. The Appalachian mountains keep many secrets, and some voices that echo through the trees are not the wind, but something that has learned to hunt with the cruelest weapon of all, love. There are fears deeper than the dark, and the oldest evils are the ones that use our own humanity against us. The heartland of America is full of stories like Sarah's, quiet warnings hidden in isolated cabins and ancient forests. If you feel the pull of these mysteries and want to discover what else is hiding in the shadows, subscribe and ring the bell. Your support is the light that guides us. If this story resonated with you, comment below with the phrase, "I liked the story," so we know to keep searching the darkness. Until next time, listen closely to the sounds of the night and pray they haven't learned to call your name.